Hey, what's up, everybody? Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and follow us for more Third and Long content. You know, I know you talked about it on Paul George's podcast about being a two-sport athlete. I was a two-sport athlete myself, and when I felt like I watched the interview, and I felt like you had to, you weren't talking to someone who really knew what was really
Yeah.
going on there. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm gonna be the person to tell y'all what was going on. Matt was that dude on the football field, all state, all world, all whatever. 6'7" wide receiver, Moss and kids, going crazy. I seen the film. You had some film.
Yeah.
I feel like a few years back on your IG that we're gonna have to get. I don't know what you did with it, but I remember you were playing against.
It's still on my IG.
Uh-huh.
But Eric, not to cut you off, you know what is crazy, bro? I'm literally moving out of my house right down the street, and I was there right before I came out to hustle back to the new house. And I'm digging. I'm in the laundry room, and we're cleaning out the top cupboards, and I found two VHS tapes. I don't even know.
Okay.
Some of you guys might not even know what those are, but that's what we used to record stuff on. And my girl immediately's like, "Oh my God, you can transfer those over to DVD." Yeah. And it was the game that I broke the section record for touchdowns against El Camino. And then I think the game again, it might've been a game against Jesuit. But no, football, man, was my first sport. I was a much better football player than I was a basketball player. I just continued to grow. And basketball, I kind of fell in love with basketball. But football is my first sport. I was recruited just as much to play football as basketball. Two-sport All-American, and I just chose basketball. I felt for longevity, and obviously, Eric, you're at the top of the mountain here, and I don't ever like to disrespect because I know how hard it is to even start climbing this professional mountain. But I felt like if I would have made football my number one priority, I definitely could have made the NFL and made a splash. But I just don't know how long it would have lasted because 6'8" receivers back in my time, the early 2000s. They weren't protected like they are now. It was open season, and I got a lot of area you can hit. So, but not a day passes, man, where I mean, obviously Sunday is, Sunday ticket. I'm on the red zone. I'm watching every single game, but I love football. And that's why, I felt so special when you made it. And then you went to my team on top of that. Because I've always been a Niner fan. I'm like, yo, like little bro is on the Niners doing his thing. They're going to Super Bowls and all this kind of shit. So it was really kind of like a dope full circle moment for someone that kind of watched you as like an older brother and kind of helped you, grow up a little bit to see, your success as well.
Yeah, no, that was crazy. I remember you were coming to a lot of our playoff games and supporting, and that was a cool experience for me too. Like being able to make people who helped me along the way and make people who knew me as a little kid like make them proud. So those were definitely special moments for me. And I think this football basketball conversation is definitely interesting. Being a two-sport athlete, myself, and I was kind of the flip reverse of you in the sense that I had some basketball offers and I could have hooped at the next level, but my football recruiting was much crazier, and I played a little bit. I was on the team. I would say I didn't play. I played one game, got me a little bucket. And then I retired after that at Oregon. But I was on the team at Oregon playing both football and basketball. Then I decided to focus on football. But I think it's an interesting conversation because, I feel like football players want to be hoopers. Hoopers think they can play football. Athletes and entertainers.
Yeah.
I mean, entertainers think that they want to be athletes, and all athletes want to be rappers. And it's an interesting like conversation. And so I got a question for you. Like, who do you think, if it was like get some football players, put them in the NFL right now, or get some basketball players, put them in the NBA right now, who do you think would have more success? Because we've seen people try to make this transition. Some went terrible. Your homie Draymond Green tried to play in college. And I see, but we seen it.
It didn't look good.
It didn't look good, but we seen it be successful. Nate Robinson was crazy in football. He could have played in the NFL for sure. Was a great NBA player. Donovan McNabb, he hooped at Syracuse and was
Charlie
Charlie
Ward, the
Ward.
Heisman Trophy winner.
Charlie Ward was cold at both.
Yeah.
Charlie Ward could do anything. You know, so I think it's an interesting conversation. What do you feel if you threw some NFL players on the court versus you threw some NBA players on the field? Who would have more success right now?
I would only say, and again, I'm a football player at heart. I always talk as a football player, but I haven't seen a football player outside of Charlie Ward crossover and do it on the highest level. And I could be mistaken. There could be other guys. But on the flip side, you have seen a handful of, and for a while there was a wave, and it came right after me, would piss me off because it probably would have encouraged me to stay in football. But those, Antonio Gates, guys that played college basketball, that didn't necessarily play football, then came over and shit, he's a Hall of Famer. And there's a few more guys in that window. Graham,
Jimmy Graham
from the Saints, Jimmy Graham. There's a couple guys in that side, but again, I don't take away any, and I say everything with all due respect. You know what I mean? To make it professional in anything, I mean, you're part of the 1%. But NFL and NBA is just different. You know what I mean? And you know that because you're someone who's played both. So I would probably say you would see more success as a basketball player trying to play football, and then a football player trying to play basketball.
I would agree for sure in terms of, just like career wise, like if you had the time, but like if there was like a game tomorrow or a game next week, I think like basketball players could at least get on a floor, and basketball is more of a free flowing game, and they could keep up a little bit. Whereas like I feel like the learning curve is a little bigger for football. Like if an NBA player jumped in the NFL, they wouldn't even know where to line up. They don't know what a formation is. It's just a lot more structure around it. But I think overall, if it was like a career switch, I think hoopers would definitely have more success in the NFL than vice versa. But it's definitely an interesting conversation because everyone feels like dang, what if I would have
and that's always easier said than done. It's always easier said than done. I mean,
one hooper that gives me hope is Lofton, the kid who played for the Grizzlies. I think he's on the Jazz now.
Hey, he's tough, bro.
I'm like,
tough.
Dang.
Kenny Lofton Jr.
Kenny Lofton Jr. When I see him, I'm like, dang, I might have should have really hooped. He's nice.
I like him. He hasn't really found his footing yet, and I hope he does, but he kind of reminds me of like my former teammate Zebo. Like a light-skinned Zebo. Sure. You know what I mean? Just skilled, not very athletic, strong, but really skilled. So I hope he has a chance to land on his feet because I really like him.